Hello, everybody, on a beautiful Sunday morning, and welcome to EDU6200. That is Ethics and School Law. For those of you who haven't met me before, my name is Dr. Richmond. I'll be your professor this semester for Ethics and School Law, and I'm looking forward to working with each and every one of you. As I said in my email last night, we have a very large class, 26. I've only had a class this large one other time. And so it makes things a little bit interesting as we have much bigger numbers and groups and things like that throughout the course. So in this introductory video, I want to do really three things with you. Number one, I've already done my introduction, so hello, here I am. Many of you will see me again in EDU6550 next summer, except for those of you who had me this past summer. So they kind of mixed up the cohorts, but that works out really well, and I'm excited to be with you. Number two, we're going to go over the syllabus and all the assignments. And then number three, I'll give you a quick rundown of the course and kind of how it works. So first of all, in the syllabus, make sure you read through this very, very carefully. One of the things I will do for you if you're new to working with me is each week I'll produce a video just like this with updates about that particular week, upcoming assignments, and of course some information about the content we're discussing during those particular weeks. I do that once a week, and then later in the week I always send a reminder email. So for example, if you're watching this email or this video today, on Sunday, you'll get an email from me probably Friday or Saturday as well with reminders of what's due before the end of the week. Every week in our course starts on a Tuesday, so our first one is this Tuesday, August 20th, and it goes through the following Monday. So assignments are typically due by Monday of the following week, and I'll explain how that kind of works. Before I get to anything else, you have an initial post. Your initial post must be done. That's the first discussion forum in week number 1, and you must post by 8/21. So some of you may wait to do this because the class starts on Tuesday, but you must post by Wednesday. That'll be in my email as well as a reminder. Otherwise, the college drops you because it's an online course. So please make sure you do that piece. All right, as you go through the syllabus, page 1 is normal stuff. You have my cell phone number there. You have my email address there that's not the Florida Southern one. You can email either one. I answer both, but the Gmail one does come in more often. It has a push mechanism, so I get those easier than the Florida Southern ones. My cell number's there for your usage. Realize I work a daytime job. I work for Hillsborough County Public Schools in professional development, so 8 to 4 typically is my day. But if you text me with your name, I will get back to you. And please, the first time you contact me, text me with your name in there so I know who you are. Because if you just call, I'll probably let it go to voicemail. I get way too many spam phone calls these days. That's it on page 1. Page 2 talks about the 2 textbooks. I understand the law book is quite expensive. You do want the 3rd edition of the law book, and it's a really useful book. I've been using this book now. It's the 5th year I've used this book, and it really has great information for us. The Florida School Laws book, I sent one of you a link last night. I can send it again to everybody if you can't find it. You may want the paper copy for this course. What I've done in years past, I used to get the paper copy every year as a school district administrator. Now I use the online version. So that's just a very simple thing you can do, and I'll show you guys that throughout the course as well. Also on page 2, you will find the 3 ways you're going to be assessed. 40% will be your exams. You're going to have both a midterm and a final. I'll talk about those in this introductory video. You have 10 field experience assignments. Those are the WCG, the William Cecil Golden assignments, and we'll become very familiar with those. I want you to pay careful attention to my part on that today, or watch this video again, because they don't go in order. And if you try and go in order, you're going to get lost. So remember this, WCG assignments don't go in order. Last but not least, textbook readings, online discussions. That's 20% of your grade, and I'll talk about that. We use the standard grading scale of 90 to 100, none of this A+, B- junk that drove my daughter nuts. She had an 82 in her classes last semester and got a C+. Not in my class. Sorry, not working that way. Oh, by the way, I think I'm funny. You guys may find me funny, but I think I'm funny. So I may tell jokes once in a while. My cats may show up, all that good stuff. Let's see, moving on. Page 3 is just good information. Page 4, good information. Page 5, good information for you to read through on your own. Page 6 is where the WCG assignments start. And when I do my weekly videos with you talking about what's due that week, I'll refer you back to these pages and say, hey, you got an assignment coming up that's due. Here's the page you find descriptions on. That's pages 6, 7, 8, and the last ones are on 9 and 10. All right, I'm going to come back to those. I want to take you down to the syllabus. The course schedule down on pages looks like 11 and 12 in my copy, should be yours as well. I have split the course into 2 parts. Part 1 is mainly chapters 1 through 6 in the textbook and several WCG assignments. We'll talk about each one in a moment. There's 3 different types of assignments there. Then number 2 is the second half, which is the rest of that book. So basically it starts with chapter 7 and goes to the end of the book, which is chapter 13, which by the way is like this big. It's not a whole lot of stuff. And then the Florida School Laws book. And I'll talk to you about that a little bit today, because I want you to realize if you try to read the Florida School Laws book the way that you're reading the textbook, you're going to want to poke your eyes out. You will want to poke your eyes out and never read again. So you can't read it that way. So the group that has picked the week with Florida School Laws, that is week number 9, the week 9 discussion, I will contact you all myself and say, hey, this is what I expect out of here. I want you to understand how to navigate this text, not be able to go in and say, chapter 1001.43.56, because that's not what it's about. It's about being able to find information. So I'll make sure I contact that group individually, so when you get to your point, you'll know what that is. All right? So week 1 is very, very simple for you. Kind of start out slow. Read chapter 1 in the textbook, the school law textbook. And then you're going to do week 1 discussion forum. Now, the way discussion forums work in this course is there are 2 parts. And if you're with me this past summer in 6550, it's the same thing. You will post initial responses to my questions. For this week only, it's got to be done by Wednesday. Normally you're going to have until Friday of the week. So the week starts on Tuesday, you have till Friday to post. In this case, you got to post by Wednesday because of the school requirements. Then, by Monday, you have to post to 2 of your colleagues with 100 words or more. That's basically it. So 200 words, 100 each, and reply to them. And that's really the gist of discussion forums to get us a chance to really talk about the concepts. So in week 1, I've posted some questions, particularly interesting subjects to think about when you start discussing school law. Now, I didn't say my favorite line yet. I'll say it now. My law professor, when I did my master's degree 20 years ago, said, the law is not wise, the law is not just, the law is the law. And you're going to find that throughout this course. You're going to be like, I don't agree with that, or I don't like that, or that's not fair. Doesn't matter. The law is the law. It's just like the current controversy in Florida over stand your ground. You may not like it. You may like it. That one case going on right now, I don't know how to pronounce the guy's last name. It's going to jury right now, whether or not he's going to be found guilty or he's going to be held not guilty because of stand your ground. You may not like stand your ground. You may like stand your ground. Doesn't matter if you like it or not. It's the law. And so we'll talk a lot about those things throughout the course, but this video is going to be long enough without content that I'm going to do more content in the week 2 video. The last thing you have to do, and some of you already did this, which is fantastic, the WCG tutorial. Now, you may have done it already for a prior course. Obviously, if you were with me this past summer, which I think about 5 or 6 of you were, you've done it. You may have done it with Dr. Hassan. That's fine. What I need is a screenshot showing you can get into the WCG portal. You do that for me and you get a grade 100%. Congratulations. Have a nice day. All you got to do is upload a screenshot to the portal. This does not go in chalk and wire. This is the only assignment we do that does not go into chalk and wire. The other 9 go into chalk and wire. So I want you to realize that piece as well. That's it for week 1. Week 2 will be very similar, except there's no WCG assignment. There's just the reading and the week 2 discussion. And then week 3, there's a discussion as well. I'll talk about the other WCG assignments in just a moment. I want to talk about the discussion forum project. Now, you will find in this email, and I've already sent it to you guys before, a link to a Sign Up Genius. And you need to go there and make sure you sign up. Every week, and I had to adjust this because they kept adding people to the class. When we started, we had 18. Now we have 26. It was going to be 2 per week starting in week 4. Now it's 3 per week except for the final week because that is the shortest chapter. You're going to sign up for a week. So let's say you sign up for week 4, which is chapter 4 in the textbook. There'll be 3 of you. The 3 of you are going to talk to each other. Whether you do it online, face-to-face, virtually with Zoom. I'm going to show you guys Zoom too. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. However you want to talk to each other together. You're going to read chapter 4 together. You're going to see for chapters 1, 2, and 3 how I have listed out some ideas, some key concepts, and things you want to know about those chapters. And you all are going to do the same thing. You're going to come up with some content discussion points for us. So first, present the key points. This is important, this is important, this is important, like a bulleted type list, however you want to do it. Then you got to come up with 1, 2, 3, however many you want to, discussion questions that your classmates, your colleagues are going to respond to. So basically what it comes down to is, this is kind of like your presentation. If we were meeting in class together and you were presenting, this is what it would look like. But you're doing it together as a group. So week 4 group, check with me before you start, because everybody's going to follow what you guys do. That happens, right? You're going to, one of the 3 of you will post. Here's the names, John Doe, Jane Doe, Jimmy Smith. Here's our content, here's our questions. I give all 3 of you your discussion forum points for that week. Everybody else, by Friday, has to respond to that post. And then by Monday, has to respond to 2 classmates, or 2 colleagues, excuse me. I'm going to say the word classmates. I was in classrooms the other day. Realize this about it. The group presenting does not have to respond again, although I wish you would. I wish you would respond to your classmates, your colleagues, and see what they're saying and talk about that piece. I agree with you because of X, Y, Z, A, B, C. That's the real important thing, is to get a better discussion going here instead of you all just responding to me all the time. I want you to respond to each other and talk about it. I will sometimes come through and post as well, but more than not, I kind of bring things up in my videos. So as I see your stuff in there, I come up with a video. Now, the group presenting, you need to make sure your stuff is posted by Monday night, since our week always starts on a Tuesday. So always post by Monday night. Our week starts on a Tuesday. By the way, if you see me slip up in these videos and say sorry, that's because everything is done ad lib. Some of you learned that over the summer. I do not script these videos. I'm not looking at any script right now. I'm looking at you. That's right. This guy is crazy, but that's okay. You got to be an educator for 24 years, don't you? That's right. So I ad-lib these videos, so if I mess up, I am not going back. This video is 12 minutes in already. There's no way I'm starting over at this point. So that's the discussion forum. I'll attach that in there for you guys so you can do that. The other thing I want to talk about real quick are the video chats. One thing I found in the 6550 data course, and if you guys haven't taken it with me yet, you will next summer, you'll see we do this. We do 4 weekly data chats. Well, in this class, I only do 3, and they happen in week 6, week 9, and week 12. They are good times for us to come back and talk about the content. And whereas you're not just watching me. So on the video chats, you're going to make sure you download Zoom. It's an app you can get for Windows, Mac, iPhone, Android, anything. I actually do it a lot of times on my iPad. During week 6 on 9/25 or 9/29, also attached to this email, you're going to come online at 7 o'clock. Now, I will send an email typically 5 minutes ahead of time. Here's the link. Click the link. You log in. And Zoom is a video chat thing. It gives me 40 minutes for free, and we will go online and have a discussion. I will talk about the content from the previous week. So in week 6, I'm going to talk about, obviously, chapters 1 through 6 in the textbook. I will then ask you some questions and what you think and how you feel and how you react and all those things, and we'll have an online discussion. Now, the last time I taught this class, I had 16. This time I have 26. So we're going to have anywhere from 13 to 15 people in that group. It's going to be hard to get everybody to talk. So the second part of this assignment is you're going to take what you learned and write a quick 1-2 paragraph summary. The summary says, this is what I learned from the chat in week 6. This is how I can use it now. This is how I'll use it as an administrator. Because believe it or not, the law is going to be your best friend as an administrator to make sure you follow things. Law, contract, all those things, ethics will play a big role in what we do in this course. So that's that piece, 3 of them. I'll remind you again as it gets closer. But go ahead now if you haven't done so already and download Zoom. It's a great, great tool for video chats. Multiple people at one time, and it works really well. Okay. This video is getting very long, so I want to get to the end of it, but I want to make sure you understand the other WCG assignments. So please go back to page 11 and 12 of your syllabus. We already said WCG number 1 is due first. That's due this week by Monday the 26th. Typically 11:55 p.m. is the cutoff for those. By the way, late assignments, how's that work with Dr. Richmond? I take off 10% for every day late. That's it. 10% every day late. You turn in a day late, 10% off. That's how I work things. I will still give you a full assessment. You do it right, you get full points for the assessment in chalk and wire. But if it's late, I take off 10% every day because you guys have what you need to do for the entire semester. In fact, there's about 5 or 6 of you have already done the first post, have already done the WCG assignment. That's great. Get out, get them done now before you really ramp up in school. Week 3, WCG number 9 is due. Now that one is the field experience notes. I tell you about that now because that gives you 3.5 weeks to get with your administrator. This is where you have to follow them around, and I'll talk more about it in the week 2 video, but it's very clearly labeled on page number 10 in the number 9 in the syllabus, and there's a rubric for this. So on the right-hand side of the portal page, you will find all the rubrics for all the assignments. Please make sure you look at them and make sure your work matches it. If it says you need 4 items for each section, there's got to be 4 items for each section. That's kind of how it lays out. Field experience number 9, week number 3, number 9, week 3, number 9, yes, also has a field experience form your principal, assistant principal, have to sign. This does not come to me. You can give it to me if you want to, but it goes to Dr. Hassan. You can collect all of them for my course and turn them all in the same time to Dr. Hassan. If for some reason on WCG number 9 you have difficulty getting with an administrator or getting to see something, that is where you want to contact me. You want to look at it now. You want to go to school tomorrow or the next day and say, hey, Mr. Principal, Miss Principal, I've got to do this. Is it possible? Blah, 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 blah. And if they say that may be difficult because of XYZ, you're going to email me or call me, and we're going to have a conversation about it. Okay? The next WCG assignment is not due until week 6, and that is number 2. Remember what I said? We're going out of order here. So you had number 9 due, and now you have number 2 due. So they're out of order. Week 7, number 3 is due. Another one you have to work with your administration about to figure out how they are staying in compliance with federal, state laws. And that's a real neat one where you have to have a bulleted list, basically. And as we get closer, I'll talk more about what that looks like. Week 9, so not until week 9 is the next one due. That's number 5, which is professional development research. You're going to be doing some research about good PD, talking with your admin as well. Here's where this course gets unique from other courses. In week 10, WCG number 4 is due, the Compliance Action Plan presentation. This one is based directly off of WCG number 3 that you did in week 7. So understand that all the rest of these outside 1 and 2 build on each other. So number 3 builds into number 4, which is due 3 weeks later. You move into week 11, you do number 7, the school and local community research. That's a real neat assignment. Then you do week 12, WCG number 6, professional development field experience. That's related back to number 5. You're going to, again, meet with your administration. In week 13, you have WCG 10 due, the observation summary, which goes way back to number 9, which we did way back early in the course. Then finally, WCG number 8 is due in week 15, and that is the group survey assignment, which draws back on number 7. Now, here's something to realize about all these assignments, ladies and gentlemen. That's getting very close to Thanksgiving week. If you wait until then to start doing these assignments, you're going to fall behind. My videos will remind you every week of when you should be thinking about things, but you definitely want to look into number 8 early because you have to create a survey and you have to administer it. Some schools are good about this. Some schools say no way. I've worked with all types. Like I said, this is the 5th year I'm teaching this course. So I know the good, the bad, and the ugly of schools and what they want to and don't want to let you do. I've worked it any way I can. Last summer, I was at Bartow Middle School with their cohort. 7 of them, all at the same school, having to do the same assignment. And I sat with the principal and said, hey, how can we make this work for them? So don't worry, whatever your circumstances are, we're going to make sure you're successful, but I want you looking ahead at all these now. Being this video is already 20 minutes long, I'm going to stop. I'm going to allow you to look at the assignments, look at the syllabus, get the week 1 stuff due, and my week 2 video will start to dive into those first 2 assignments you're going to do, which is WCG number 9 due in week 3 and WCG number 2 due in week 6. Again, welcome. I'm so happy to have you all. I look forward to working with you, and please don't hesitate to contact me if any questions come up. In fact, some of you already emailed me and texted me questions. Not a problem. I'm here as your guide. This is going to be a fun course. You're going to learn more in this course than you ever thought possible. And you'll be like, wow, I didn't realize law was such a big thing in education. And by the way, Last semester, I had 2 civics teachers in my class who said at the end, I never thought about law applied to education. I've always taught it from a constitutional standpoint. I never thought of it in an educational standpoint, which you're going to see throughout this course. So you guys have a great rest of your Sunday. I'll be in touch with you again during the week. I'm going to send an email in a few minutes with this video for you, and I always post it too on the portal website under announcements, so it's always there waiting for you. You guys have a great week, and again, welcome to our course.